Hi, my name is Isaac Veek, and I'm a student PT at the University of Mount Union, and today I'm going to be doing a quick tip video over the overhead throwing athlete with a little bit more of a focus on the return to sport and plyometric training aspect of that recovery process. When we look at injuries in the overhead throwing athlete, we often look to injuries that relate to the rotator cuff muscles, something that might be going on with the labrum, such as a labral tear, biceps tendonitis, some kind of shoulder impingement because of the repetitive force and motion that lots of these throwing athletes go through. This also puts a lot of stress through the elbow joint as well, commonly seen at the UCL or the medial collateral ligament of the elbow. Some exercises we can do to help overhead throwing athletes who have been injured recover are something that's called the Throwers 10 program. These are implemented early on. A lot of prone exercises, prone rows, prone horizontal abduction with varying degrees of internal and external rotation, D1, D2 flexion extension, banded external rotation at 90-90, just to name a few. You'll see some of those videos pop up later as well. These exercises are great early on in the recovery process to start to reintroduce some of that strength through the injured area. But as we progress through the recovery process, we need to focus on the sport-specific demands of that athlete. Start to challenge them not only at the injured area, but throughout their entire kinetic chain as well, focusing on core strength, hip strength, which are very important. Doing some drop reactive catches at varying angles, external rotation, something with horizontal abduction are great early on where we're maintaining some of that stability. We can also do some shoulder stability exercises with core activation, doing something like a ball roll while in a tall plank position or a pull through while in a tall plank position as well. As we move into the return to sport and plyometric phase of training, it's important to progress our athletes appropriately, starting in a controlled environment and moving into a more uncontrolled environment, starting simple before going complex. As these videos continue to play in the background, during these late phases, it's important to pay attention to how much load is going through the injured area, how much load is going through the elbow, through the shoulder, throughout the day, how much are they doing in practice, what are they doing outside of practice, and what are they doing inside the clinic with us, focusing on progressing them gradually as to not set them back in the recovery process. The last thing I want to focus on during the later stages of recovery that can be also implemented throughout is the full body movement that is throwing. It's important to work on strengthening the legs, strengthening the hips, because upper body injuries can impact balance. That's been found in some research, as well as focusing on recovery at the injured area in the upper extremity. So doing some med ball throws or controlled throws where we're not letting go of the ball is an example of an exercise we can do in the clinic. That's all I have for this quick tip video. Thank you for listening. I'll have my references from articles that I looked at come up here next, and I'll also be attaching a Word document with a bunch of more in-depth bullet points that you can look at if you want to. Thanks.